Between languages, across screens, the actor's arc is the name of this session. To be honest, I won't be surprised if this turns out to be a fascinating session as it consists of two amazing actors with an artistic journalist as a moderator. One of them is a Bollywood actor who has traveled all the way to Kochi just for us. So I thought we should give something special to him, which can actually be something special for all of us. The theme of Hortus this year is Nyan, Ni, Nam, which means I, you, we. So let's do something special together and show the power of we. I've got a couple of questions to you all. How many of you know the film Three Idiots? You must be knowing? Great. And how many of you know the song Give Me Some Sunshine? That's great. So I thought that we could do something special by actually singing a little bit of the song. And it's pretty simple. It's just 4 simple lines. Give me some sunshine, give me some rain, give me another chance, I want to grow up once again. So it'd be great if all of you could join us with it. Give me some sunshine. Give me another chance, I want to grow up once again. One more time. Give me some sunshine. Amazing. So ladies and gentlemen, please help me introduce to you Ali Fazal, Roshan Mathew, and Deepa Anthony. Hope you have a wonderful session. So the duration of the session would be 45 minutes, and there'll be 5 minutes of Q&A session with the audience.
Thank you so much. That was wonderful. I'm sure the audience and all of us have also woken up a little bit more than we were already. But yeah, wonderful morning. Welcome all of you to this session titled Between Languages and Across Screens, the Actor's Arc. And with me today, I have 2 actors who need no introduction whatsoever because half of my job is already done. So, but then what really stands out is the fact that both of these actors have this very unique craft or unique talent to just play as with their craft. I mean, both of these actors, when they come to the screen, you don't know whether you want to love them, you want to hate them, you want to be angry at them, but then they tell us exactly how to feel. And that's the craft they come to us across all screens with. So what I want to know, I think we'll start with that. Both of you come from a very strong theatre background. And then you have done all this amazing work. I think we'll start at how your background, theatre background, and your experience as theatre actors and artists has informed your craft till this day.
Hi everyone. At least you know everybody's in rhythm of some sort. Thank you for having us here. Check. Oh yeah. Censored. Okay. No, not here. No, thank you for that question. It's a very deep question. But this one is not working. This mic is not working. Yeah. I think as an actor, if I may say so, there's a lot that goes in, you know. And I mean, of course, we can jump into our craft and everything. But to begin with, theatre has been a very humbling experience. I started in school, and I got lucky. I started with Shakespeare, so deciphering language was something that was very exciting from a very early stage. And I mean, I've said this a lot of times in other interviews, so I feel like I'm repeating. But acting to me was a bit of an accident. I was heavily into sports, so weirdly I found that discipline in sport in this craft, which is very hard to explain. But I've managed to keep that going. The focus that you sometimes need. I don't think I got formal training in acting to begin with. I was a science student, so everything was about analyzing and breaking it down and getting to the crux of it. But of course, I'm sure we'll chat a little more about that later. Yeah, Roshan, this is your turf, man.
There's there's nothing like that. We watch
Also, I'm a big
everything
fan,
here.
so,
Oh,
yeah.
wow. Okay. Oh my God. Okay. So I watched Rang De Vasan. I mean, I watched. Oh wow, what a horrible start. I watched Three Idiots. I remember the song, and the scenes are still playing in my head as people sang it. Out of respect to you, I didn't sing along because I'm
Thank
a horrible
you.
singer. Um, but just so you guys know, I've interacted with Ali once before in a slightly similar setting. That was
At a round
another.
table?
Yeah, it was an actors round table. So I'm like thinking third time lucky is what people say, you know. So I'm hoping that the next time that we interact, it'll be when we're working together on a project because I really want to work with you at some point.
Yes.
About the question, before before we get into the question, because you touched upon theater and how it started, and then you had also mentioned how you don't know whether to love us or hate us when we appear in movies. I think that's it wasn't something that I was consciously striving towards, but I think that's a huge achievement for any actor because you take away half of the fun when you already know, okay, this guy's a good guy, he's not going to do anything bad, he's definitely the protagonist of the story. And it sort of happened subconsciously because I started off in theater. Because there is no central character, there is no main lead, there is no hero. It is always a collective. And I didn't get to do a lot of classical theater. I didn't get to do any Shakespeare, actually. I started off with Indian contemporary theater. And it's always been about the group energy for me. It's always been about the ensemble. And it doesn't matter who plays what part. We know when we're doing the play, even if the audience sometimes doesn't recognize it, while we're performing a play, we know that this show wouldn't happen if at least one person from the group was missing. So each person, each character on stage, each person helping out backstage, everyone becomes equally important. So that's the way I started looking at films also when they started happening, because it was an extension of what I do. I started doing acting in the theater. I really liked it. Then I continued doing that in films. Incidentally, when I got cast for my first film in Malayalam called Pudhiya Niyamam with Mammootty and Nayanthara, there were a bunch of people from like extended family and all who called up, and in conversation they found out that I was playing this like really bad guy. And it's like I was a horrible dude.
No spoilers.
In the film.
But really bad.
Like really, you'd want to kill him. He dies. So I remember one like extended relative asking me, as in like if you start off playing a villain character, then that's all you're gonna get. So you don't do it, you know. And I remember in that moment being on that phone call thinking, who says there's a second film? What if this is the only one I get to do?
Oh, I wish you had told them Mohanlal also started off as a villain.
Yeah, I mean like that's what other people, my friends told me. Hey, Macha, don't worry about it. But this is my thought. I get to start here. You expect more. At this point, for me, it's just this one project, so I'll go ahead and do it.
So yeah, but you've also worked in several other languages. So when you move from, I'm sure you're conversant with a lot of languages. So moving language to language is not a problem. But moving culture to culture as an actor, how do you find that?
Yeah, how is that for you? I mean,
How's that for you?
no, yeah, but you know, it's a huge jump.
Yeah,
Within the country also, like it's
within the countries as far as I've jumped so far. So we'll talk about
We'll
international
talk about
jumps.
jumping outside the country soon.
but no, sorry, without being annoying. I've actually not found that much of a difference in, like, you know, apart from the obvious things, apart from what you expect in terms of language and food and culture and maybe with the scale of the project, obviously,
But most of the characters you played, even in Hindi, probably is a Malayali guy.
Yeah, they've always kept that safety net. You know, in case I'd like fail horribly, they can say that, yeah, this is some guy from the south, you know. It's like but
you've kept our
so far.
Yeah.
But it's not been essential, is the point. Like in a film like Darlings, there was always the safety net of, oh, he migrated somewhere, you know, like long time ago, he migrated from Kerala probably, and he's been living in Bombay. It doesn't feature in the story. In fact, it doesn't affect the story. It's just a safety net so everybody can calm down. So in the last Hindi project that I did, which was a series for Sony Live, I play a guy from Goa. So I've managed to make my way up till Goa now. And now I have to work further up.
For those who don't know, Kaan Khajura, please watch it on Sony Live.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Nice.
Because he's done a good job.
I did not ask her to say that. Over to you, Ali.
Interesting.
Do you
yeah.
find a huge cultural difference?
I mean, geographically, like I think cultures
But
change.
you also started off playing an Indian guy from India in Victoria and Abdul.
Yeah, that was Indian. That was a true story. So that changed the entire landscape. Uh, Also because that particular character did not have anything recorded in history. There were purely 4 photographs that we started deciphering from and tracking back. So you'd see the medals on his this thing. You understand, okay, he was probably not knighted, but he was commander of this. He was this. He was this over a span of 15 years. And there were these letters that were found, which were in Urdu at Windsor Castle in London. And nobody knew how to read that, right? Obviously. They had burnt the English letters off. But they're so stupid, I'm sorry. But they should have read those because that was the bombshell. This guy had taught Queen Victoria Urdu for 15 years, you know? And of course, nobody would need to know that because it would then be a shitstorm in the royal family, which was at the time, which is why our man was kicked out the day Queen Victoria died. But navigating those, you know, the age, the way he kind of evolved physically, language in that time, how it was spoken. Just India में trains, sorry, there were trains in India and, you know, only the Britishers would be allowed to use those.
Yeah.
Indians weren't at the time. Industrial revolution was happening. So those things, again, those are things at the back of your mind. It's not like I'm, you know, making those notes. But
when you're directed in another language,
I mean, I think, no, I know what you mean. I think the harder one was, there's a film called Kandahar I did. Very commercial, Rick Roman War directed. He's a director who's done Greenland and all these big films. There, it was a Afghani, you know, character from Quetta, speaking Pashto. Now, like, I had no idea about these languages. So that was a lot of different kind of work that I had to do and learn how to, you know, be very savvy on a dirt bike in the middle of the desert. Yeah, but generally I think those things come in because the nuktas, the punctuations, they change. You know, the intonations and all those things change with language or with the British accent in another film. Yeah. But we train for that, you know. I think it's only basic that you would do the same, you know. So, yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. Do you just do the lines or do you learn a bit of the language, just in case?
No, it's better to know the kind of the nitty-gritties of the language, you know, like a quick tourist guide, if you can get to it, if you have enough time, you know. Of course, the world does not present itself like it presents to maybe somebody like Daniel Day-Lewis, who can actually go and learn the entire language and then give you those lovely performances. But yeah, I tried whatever little I could, you know. Yeah.
But does it happen that, like when you're working in an English film directed by a white man, and he's teaching you or directing you to act like an Indian man?
I protested. I did. Yeah. They had botched up all the Urdu things. I think somebody had sat on Google Translate at BBC or somewhere and sending these, you know, wonderfully corrupted lines my way. So I said, okay, I know a bit of Urdu myself, luckily. So I then, you know, went back to this thing and wrote them back. And then they said, no, but it has to be routed all the way back to the head office and then it'll come back, it'll be vetted. But after 2-3 tries, I think they understood that maybe, just maybe, I might know my shit. So, so then they didn't, they allowed me to kind of alter those things a little bit. My one thing was I don't want to say Taj Mahal. But yeah, we do whatever we can. I tried to keep it very neutral because we've also had cinema that's come out of India that is just tailor-made for the Oscars, and I'm not a big fan of those. You know, I mean, I absolutely love the people working on Slumdog Millionaire and all that, but it didn't make sense to me at the time. Gandhi didn't make sense to me at the time. You know, it was all anglicized. So, yeah. And now I think, of course, cinema is also changing. We are evolving. So even within India, every 100 kilometers, 30 kilometers, the dialect changes. You know, and the fact that there is a demand to want to hear those dialects, because yes, there are people living in those villages, in those small cities, and you know, it does connect. It's tried and tested. I mean, so why not?
So, Roshan, what about you? Again, when you go up north, there are people who don't know Malayalam who are directing you to act like a Malayali guy.
The
you don't know to name
typecasting,
a certain movie.
How doesn't that irritate you?
Yeah, it does. It
After
also,
a point, you're like, shut up, man. Like, we're doing some
Yeah,
really classy
like,
work here.
yeah,
I don't need to be here, but
no, I don't think that, because I only pick projects which I feel like I won't get here. Otherwise, there's no reason to go, right? There is great work happening here, whether I'm part of it or not. This does happen. You do end up in situations where you have to sort of tell them that, listen, we don't all wake up in the morning and have our idli, and you know, where are
Sambar.
mundu and sambar, and where are mundu, and go. And whenever there are Malayalam lines written, they're horrendous. Obviously, you know, they somehow managed to find words which were only used back in the 18th century. And this is a realistic film, so you fight for those. You fight those battles, and you like. All I try to do is I try and fight those battles either as early as possible or as late as possible. Because that in-between period, you get caught in these conversations, these back and forth. You end up losing a lot of time. So you either do it right up front, or right before you go into a shot, you just say, listen, this doesn't work, we're changing it to the... just listen to it and see. You know, so.
but what's your original language? Like, what language do you think in?
Malayalam, yeah. I
You
think
dream in Malayalam also?
I have no idea what language I dream in.
I always wondered. Do you see color in dreams?
Yeah.
Do you see color in dreams?
I see whole pictures and I like whole movies in dreams.
I don't see. I see a lot, but I've
Yeah.
never understood the relationship of color in. I don't know. I was thinking about it this morning. Sorry,
You had time to sleep this morning?
it was a bit of a haze. Anyway,
Oh, are you sleep deprived now?
I am these days.
What does it sound like?
No, but so as actors, I'm sure you read through a script, you form a picture of your own in your head about your character, about the scene, and you probably choreograph the whole scenario, and then you come onto the stage or to the shoot, and then things may not go to your design. How does
Oh.
that affect you? And
That's the best part.
really?
That is genuinely the best, because we all do that, right? Even I was going to say civilians. You know,
It's just
Look
a
at the
lack of
privilege.
sleep. He's not
I'm
an
kidding.
entitled privileged actor.
no, but everybody in our day-to-day lives, we do that, right? You got a meeting, you're going to prep and do something, and then just leave some room for the improvisations and the magic of cinema that we call happens there. But how much do you? Yeah, that's always a question. How much do you anticipate and walk in? Right? I don't know.
I think it's been a little of a... so I used to do this whole, you know, watching the scene play out in my mind and then preparing for it before I ended up on shoot. I used to do that for a while. Almost never happens that way. It always changes, like you mentioned. And then I realized that it is a blessing that it changes, because what you initially imagine in your head is 9 out of 10 times really bad. So I've been in situations where I've worked with people who have had a comfortable enough equation with to request a version the way I imagined it, because I felt like, oh, you know, maybe the other one's not working out well enough, or I'm not doing a good enough or convincing enough job, and that's so, do you mind if we try this? And the few times that I've managed to convince them and try it, it's been really bad. Like so bad that the moment you start, you know, oh shit, this really stinks. This is horrible. So you've got to, and it's really nice, it's really humbling. It also reawakens you to the fact that just like theater, this is also a collaborative art form. An actor can't do this by themselves. There has to be a great writer, there has to be a great director who makes you do the thing. And it has to be their vision. It doesn't have to be their singular vision, but they have to be the person taking the final call.
But I have a question. When you're working on something, you know, one to the next, do things happening in the world affect you or your craft? like on Monday or a Tuesday you walked in and like 17 wars happening in the world, you know. How do you deal with that? Like, can you switch off from there and say, okay, that's, but then there's also your personal life, so you switch off from that. We've learned that.
Yeah.
We switch off from our acting and
Yeah.
go in and go for a date or whatever.
Yeah, I feel
Does
like
the other way work? I don't know.
yeah. So very good question. I feel like we've all learned, some have mastered the kind of detachment that you need for this job. For me, as you were asking this, I realized that what happens is it makes me hyper aware about the material that we are going to work on. It reawakens me to the extent of the implications of this, all the possible meanings of this. How does this connect to what's happening outside? Or is there like a portal opens up and you see something that you hadn't seen in, you know, the X number of times you had read that script before? And sometimes those things have come up for discussion. You know, it really makes you more aware. It's like it educates you, which is again one of the best.
Like Poacher,
Yeah.
for instance. I know I said that then also because I was really championing. You must watch. I think, yeah, he's done a phenomenal job. All the actors, of course, but yeah, that really kind of brought something out to the world on what's happening. Yeah, yeah.
And I feel like we have an intrinsic desire to be correct, right, even if it comes from a very selfish, I want my conscience clear of guilt place. But it's good. It educates you. In a way.
But you know, then that also, like the confusing part is, sorry, I'm just going on and. Okay. No, the confusing part is the previous thing you had asked, right? You don't know if you want to love us and hate us. And I think, as a character, not as a person, you always go in, like, we are the protagonists of our own lives, right? So you're always justifying everything.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, you know, we're not walking in saying, I'm playing a hateful character.
You have a reason
The world
why you're
created
behaving the way
is,
you are.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm justifying everything in that little journey of mine, you know, as if everything I do is right. You know, that's what was playing in my mind when you were asking. And so, therefore, I don't know if that love, hate, everything is a combined collaborative effect.
So that brings me to my next question. You read a script, you realize your character is underwritten. What do you do then? How do you still have fun with your craft?
I mean, that happens a lot. That happens a lot. You fill in, you try and fill in as much. But it's so nice when the few times, you know, it's like those trust falls we used to do in theater exercises. You can actually do that. You feel like you're doing that with a director who knows his stuff. And you don't know what the outcome will be, you know. And like, I don't like predicting or imagining the whole picture already, because then why am I doing all the work? You know, there are 150, 500 people who are bringing this vision alive, and even for that moment, it's going to be as fresh as anything can be. So, yeah, when that doesn't happen, then you try and fill up, sort of flank it, because you're part of the team. You can't abandon, I suppose.
So what is the process then, then?
I don't know, we wing it every time, depending on the context. I don't know, what do you do?
No,
But you'll have to be very specific on an example then. Otherwise, it's just a general, you know, nice answer we can
But
give
then
you.
you'll have to give me experience from your own work. When, I mean, maybe not name names, but, you know.
Oh, about the, yeah. So without making the answer tricky, I think what I try and do is, A, trust the people who are making it, obviously. Imagine, you know, a situation where
If you can just give us some anecdotes or...
Yeah, so like one of the best writer-directors that I've worked with, Shah, he's sitting right here in the crowd. Okay, he's ducked now, so you won't see him. But he's brilliant at writing his characters, and he doesn't overplay them in the script. He doesn't overplay them in the written word. And another film that I worked on called Paradise by Prasanna Vithanage was similar. So you go in with your world and your life fully in you as much as possible. You try and play each moment as honestly as possible. You try and stay in touch with this character and the past that this person's had as much as possible, and you believe that in some moment, at some point in the film, the makers are going to bring it out. and it might not be expressed in words. There might not be a few other characters talking about your character and like spelling it out for anybody, but people can feel it if it's relatable enough and if it's honest enough. So I've had those experiences where it's felt like, okay, none of this is written, none of this was part of the plan, but this person somehow like brought it out. And sometimes they're so good, the makers are so good at what they do, that even if there's nothing inside you, they make it look like this. You know, there's a whole, brimming life full of history and experiences inside this empty shell of an actor who is giving a superficial performance. Even that is possible. The medium is that powerful. People who can wield it well are that powerful. And obviously the opposite also happens when you go in with, like brimming with life and everything, and nothing translates.
Anything you'd like to add to that?
No, I mean, you're bang on. That's what, yeah. It's exactly that.
So,
I mean, less is good sometimes. That's less spoken also, even on camera, right? Like when things go off. It's a thing with rhythm, right? So if something is not written to the fullest, there's always going to be a tempo in the room. There's always going to be, a bass beat. So somewhere you'll land. So these are my Adi Shakti rules coming out.
Like you're so in touch with everything.
No, man. That's the only form of acting discipline that I got exposed to. So I have to give credit. They
awesome.
really kind of.
On a sleep-deprived morning, you've gone trustful, Adi
Shut
Shakti,
up,
Shakespeare. Good job.
Showing off.
So again, this session is about the actor's arc, and your individual actor's arc has taken you to the makers, to wear the maker's hat as well. So you're directing a play, you are getting into production. How has your experience or life as actors shaped or informed those roles?
Directing a play. I directed one before. Right now, there's a production running. Yeah, it's it's a fun production. Come watch it sometime.
Bye.
Plugging in my play also, okay, shamelessly.
So,
No, don't, please don't. That'll really sound like I
No,
asked
but
you.
when is it out?
Dude.
Oh, come on.
No, it's already out.
how many
Oh,
of you have
okay.
watched Bypass?
Yeah? It's good?
That's like 10 people.
It's okay.
No, and that's great. For theatre, that's great. This is a medium that does not come to you.
I've performed to that many hands.
Yeah. I mean, so have
6.
I. So have I,
Yeah. That's the universal rule, right? 6
Yeah.
minimum?
In
theatre?
movie theatres, it's different.
Movie theatres is, I'm
Yeah,
talking
but the
stage,
other
yeah,
ones,
stage.
6. But no, I said that's great because theatre is a medium that doesn't travel to you. You have to get there to where the play is happening.
Yeah.
So 10 people in a crowd that is not huge is a big achievement, I think, if I can say so myself. Yuck. No, don't. This is going to make it worse. No, I think, to answer your question, I think it's intrinsically, it's just a need to tell stories. We want to tell stories. So I haven't listened to his answer yet, but I'm certain that's what he's doing when he's getting into production. You feel like, okay, this story needs to be told, or I want to be part of telling this story because people are going to have an extremely relatable experience listening to it. And that's where it all began. That's where theatre began. That's where cinema began. We just have so much to tell each other in the form of stories. That's it. So when I moved to Kochi and I really wanted to do theatre, I first went around and tried to meet people who were doing theatre here, of which there are very few. There were very few at that point, especially. And I realized that nothing's going to align. I'll just, waste years trying to chase people down and work with them. So if I want it so badly, I should just try and make it happen myself. And then I was lucky enough to find some like-minded individuals who wanted to do it with me. So we went out and we made the work that we wanted to be part of, and we told the story that we wanted to tell.
Oh man, I wish we could do that with cinema. Yeah, but we did manage to produce our first film. It did pretty well. It's a film called Girls Will Be Girls. Please watch it. It's on Amazon actually now. Amazing. Yeah, we won Sundance. We got Best Actor, Preeti Panigri. Very, very good actor. And Kani Kusruti, of course. She's leading that as well. It's a mother-daughter love story, so it's just something we're very, very proud of. And we eventually ended up getting the John Cassavetes at the Independent Spirit Awards. So, which is also very nice. I'm glad because then we can now start developing even more like different stories. Uh, but I think it's also a time where we need to desperately champion independent cinema, independent filmmakers, and just good writing. We also, while I have the stage, we also created a very interesting program called the Undercurrent program. It was after much research, because all our head of departments were women on this team. Our director is also Shuchi Talati, she's from New York. And we realized there were no gaffers, no women gaffers, light. And so we started the first program of its kind with the help of Light and Light, you know, who usually provide like light equipments to different shoots all over India. And they gave us their studios. And yeah, we had some 12 people come in, 2 from tribal areas, and all of those girls are now working in different productions. So yeah, it was amazing to watch one of them land up on my Mirzapur set. He's like, hey man, what's up? And she's like carrying some stuff, because there's this whole misconception that, this is too heavy stuff for women to carry, you know. It's all bullshit. So it worked. At least I like to think it worked, and we're hoping to, we're late, but we're hoping to bring out season 2 as well. And yeah, please spread the word, and everybody's welcome, whoever wants to join in, whenever we announce this. So yeah, baby steps, but hopefully we'll develop more stuff and bring out more good stories we want to tell, like you said.
No, truly, like women, the misconception that women can't wield heavy equipments, like I've seen productions where women wield big cameras, and there is this huge set where we're shooting Jallianwala Bagh, recreating Jallianwala Bagh, and a battalion of women shot the entire scene, and it was fantastic to just watch. So yeah, if this stage is going to put that idea into your mind, if at least one person thinks of getting into production as a woman, we are all for it. But like we said, the entire idea of this discussion is stories. Stories have brought us together. It's what shapes our ideas, our lives. So what do you look in stories as actors and as makers? And is there a distinction? Distinction. Like, do you look for different stories as an actor from as a maker?
Yeah, I'm a lot choosier when I think as a maker, because I'm not really that much of a maker. I've just done a few plays.
No, but you have that bend of mind. Eventually, hopefully, probably you will also get into direction.
Yeah, definitely. But I also know how difficult the job is. So it has to be something that is an unending source of inspiration if I choose to make it. As an actor, honestly, you're not doing that much work. We have it pretty easy, you know. We can choose to work really hard at it. We can also choose to, lay back and relax a little bit. I'm not saying it's advisable. I'm saying it's available, that option. And also, like, you have to keep life running, right? It's your more regular source of income. So you have to, at points, you have to just do the job. It is a job at the end of the day. You have to do the job to earn your living. That's it. When you're thinking as a maker, I feel like I'm a lot choosier. It has to be a story that I know at any point in the day, no matter how tired I am, the story inspires me to get up and work.
But as an actor, you are more freewheeling.
A little more.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, good punctuation. That's what we look for.
No, but
I've read I got a narration the other day, and I'm reading the script, and the brackets written dadan, 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 dadan. Hyphen. So I couldn't tell what it was, and the narration, it came out. It was a BGM. So sure. I mean,
okay, that's the first filter. I get it. But after that.
No, I'm kidding. I mean, good writing is good writing. For both sides. As a producer, of course, you look at the whole thing holistically. You get to look at it. As an actor, you don't. A lot of stuff is hidden from you. So you bring your A game, whatever you can. Yeah. But I think we're getting there slowly.
But also, part of my question was, is there a distinction from the stories you go for as an actor as opposed to as a producer?
I mean, that's like...
I'm sure there's some distinction. Um,
Yeah, but
Do you make sure that the films you produce make a lot of money? And
if I could. No, a lot of things are not in your hand. But that on the initial level, there's no distinction on how I would approach, you know, a good story. Yeah, sometimes maybe, yeah, as an actor, you know, you're chasing an image, or you're made to chase an image. I'm also sucked into a place in the Indian side where there's this constant formula making. You know, we're chasing a visual that has worked. Not all the time, but a lot of times, and that's scary. So it's almost like you have to undo that, take 5 steps back, sometimes lose a lot of work on the, yeah, but then it's your instincts, you know, at the end of the day. It has to be. There's something right about your instinct. I like to think that.
so it's instincts mainly, mostly.
Hoping the education would come in also to understand. Acha hai, bura hai, you know, I don't know.
But you've also navigated your career in terms of you probably said no to at least a few big paychecks for smaller projects which you knew would make bigger changes. How has that, I mean, for actors to have that sort of balance is important because it's on your brand, it's on your credibility, and it's also about the bills you have to pay. So how has that helped you, or how has that shaped you? Because a lot of us who are listening to us right now are probably aspiring actors, and they sort of want to make certain choices and want to take certain opportunities. Probably some anecdotal tidbits will sort of inspire them or scare them.
So yeah, I'm sure a lot of people are, I don't know, yeah, there's no way to find out. I really liked what you said earlier about chasing an image or trying to break an image or moving away from it. That, like, it struck me as, oh my God, that's so true. I've done that so many times in my life, and yet I didn't think about it. I had one of those moments. But yeah, I mean, there have been multiple times when I've moved away from a big paycheck to do a smaller film. That's not been thinking that this will make a bigger change. That's actually not in our hands. Like, you can't predict what a film's going to do. You can't predict how many people are going to be watching it, let alone predict how many will be moved or changed by it. And essentially, that's not really why I'm doing this. I'm not doing this to change people or try and bring about some big change in the world or anything. That's sort of, you know, an advantage or a disadvantage at times. I don't think you can very consciously, you know, aspire for that. There are just films that you know you will be proud of many years later. You have to realize that these things that you make, especially cinema as opposed to theater, is forever part of history from the moment that you've made it. So how good it gets or how bad it becomes, you have to live with that. And essentially, we're just trying to be happy, right? So we're just trying to do things that make us happy.
That's what scares me, actually. 50 years down the line, somebody's going to be sitting there and, like, you know, giving us a lot of grief. Yeah, this is what you were doing. You know?
You balance it out by saying, but I also did this.
Yeah,
You know?
but you can't. No, man, there's no option. You can't, because when, you know, shit hit the fan, you guys were with them. Yeah. You know, siding in, not being able to make your cinema. And that's what scares me, to not be able to have that freedom. We have it right now, I think. I like to think, some of it. But we should be able to, you know, not worry. Yeah, this is going to get a lot of flack years from now. But again, I'm thinking, sitting on the stage, like, why would you listen to us? Like, we're just actors, okay, you know, but I keep thinking, what is the biggest piece of wisdom we can give? Or maybe
No,
there's
but
nothing.
I'm sure when you were young, if anybody gave you any piece of advice, you would just trash it, wouldn't you?
I mean, well, a lot of it. Yeah.
What is the one piece of advice you would give your younger self now?
My God, is that what the chit was? That's the question you sent, stranger. Oh man, that's original. No, I'm kidding. I have no regrets. That's safe. You know? What would you tell your younger self?
One of
You
those
look
questions.
16, man. What younger self?
I did not
What is
ask him
this?
to say that either. This is just working out so beautifully for me. No, I would just say be braver to
Yeah.
myself, I think.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. Fair. Are you guys? Is everybody in the film like industry here or trying to work in as an artist? No, writers? Any writers? We know there's one with the glasses. What? Oh, okay. Because you're the only one hiding. Okay. Any performers? Actors? Yeah. Yeah. Ah, shy actors. Oh, sweet man. Okay.
Ah.
Okay. This is scary because then the rest of all of these people are non. Non means we're being judged
You mean to say
Absolutely.
on
civilians,
purely
right?
speaking skills. Not good orators. We'll wait for Kamal Hassan. He's coming, no, in the evening today.
Yeah.
Ah.
No, but think of it like a film, and I think you'll calm down. We don't have to dole out wisdom. We don't have to change the world or anything. If it happens as a byproduct, let's just hope it's happening for the better. That's all.
All right.
On that note, I think we should move on to audience questions. So, anybody who has a question, yes, over there, and gentleman over here. We'll come back. Yeah.
Hello. Hear me?
Can you start with your name?
Yeah, my name is Anshuman.
Anshuman.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I want to avoid the cliche question of how you.
It's okay. We're done with cliches, so you can go ahead.
So I had a cliche question that I'm an actor and I'm trying to get a work, but nothing is working out. So how do you figure out that stage? That was a cliche question I was trying to avoid. But the real question is, so I tried to do theater and a lot of other things. Like I tried to come up with the solo performances to perform and do. So the thing is, I used to be a very shy person and I'm doing all these things. And there is a point where I have identity crisis. Like I have opened different parts of myself when I'm performing, which I didn't used to know if there is. And there comes a time, moments in life where I don't know what I'm doing. Am I behaving awkward? Am I being too much? There is a sort of like freedom and I don't know how to deal with it. You know what I'm saying?
You know what, Anshuman? I don't know about the acting part. They'll enlighten you about that. But you're never too much. Okay? Remember that.
No, if I may, something you said reminded me. Just yesterday, I was at a function, family wedding type of a thing, and I've recently we have a daughter now. She's 1 year, 3 months, and watching her in that room, in the dance floor, there were these lights on the floor. Lots of people, and I swear to you, for that little time, it was pure cinema. To watch somebody uninhibited at that age. And I feel as we grow older, we start, deteriorating. And the fight is, especially for actors, I think, is to be able to hold on to that innocence and that uninhibitedness. Is that a word? I don't know. But you get the point, That has really, really worked. So in all the characters or in everything, when there are moments like you mentioned, things are not written fully out. It's that little innocence I just grab, because then the world does not need to matter. Because your truth is really, really, it's the best thing. 15 people would watch you in that moment and they would really be convinced. So Yeah, we have a lot of identity crises, man. Like, this is our job. Yeah. This is the sad part because it requires compassion. Every small thing affects, you know. And then we got to put up this thing that no, you know, I'm wearing boots today, and thinking there's no polish on it, but you know, I'm wearing like sneaker socks and stuff. Fuck, nobody, no. I don't know.
It's great. If I can just add on to what he said. Having an identity crisis is, I think, something that a lot of people go through. It's very, very normal. It's great for an actor. Think about it in these two ways. One, you get to become someone else whenever you're acting. So you let go of this tension that you have about, oh, I don't know who I am. You don't need to. You stop being that person, then you exist as a character. I've had so many films and like some plays that I've been part of where I've been more comfortable playing the character that I was playing rather than be the person that I am in the group that I was working with. And I'm sure all actors have that, you know. I'm not saying I was doing a fabulous job. That's not my point. It's just that I don't know who to be in this group, but at least once the cameras are on, you know that you know who you're supposed to be. So it's actually a blessing for an actor, you know. Then there was, then this awkwardness that you mentioned of I don't know how to behave, I don't know how to be, also puts you in a state of hyper-awareness where you're very aware of every tiny thing you're doing. That's going to help you a lot. That's going to help you a lot later when you become an actor. You get detailing from that.
And the industry is in a slump, so don't worry. There's a lot of us thinking exactly like you. Yeah, man. Hang in there. That's all.
Hi, my name is Pragya, and anybody of you could answer this. Pragya. Yeah. So, Ali, my question is for you first. When we see commercial cinema, especially Bollywood, do you think we need to learn a lot from Malayalam movie industry, especially when it comes to representing the oppressed class?
You mean to say Hindi film industry needs
Yes.
to, is that what you mean?
Yes.
Okay.
Bollywood, you think Bollywood needs to learn a lot there
Oh,
at
yeah.
the moment, currently?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Yes. I think we can do much better.
Are you saying that just because you're here?
Yes.
I mean, you know, you can check up. I'm the ugly duckling.
There's also no way
in a
out.
lot of
just-
sessions. No, I truly believe that. And I think we can definitely do a better job. There is also commercial cinema is a very different ball game in the Hindi film industry. So yes, it's an outlet. That's the excuse we've been giving ourselves for the longest time. Ki, you know, sab thake aare aate hain and we just want this one outlet of mindless cinema. No, it's not that. People like watching good scripts play out on screen. It has happened. We've had a golden era in the Hindi film industry back in, you know, decades ago. Filmmakers weren't shy from making films that would talk about things. It could be in a fun way, it could be very serious, but somewhere we've backtracked, you know. But yeah, we
I
need
think
to pull up our socks.
Not so long ago, we had a movie like Masan.
Yes, yeah. My wife is in it.
Of
Yeah.
course.
And I'm a big fan of that film. Yeah. But again, there you go. Neeraj Ghevan is again a wonderful director. Please watch Homebound. It's, I think, our official entry to the Oscars. So whatever little championing we can do, because that filmmaker is very important. He's going to make a lot of more stuff. The problem is a lot of the cinephiles then sit back and say, "Isme maza nahi aaya, not very good. That was better. This was no, you know." But maybe we need to do more.
Do you have a question for Roshan? No?
I think you pretty much answered it, because Malayalam movie industry doing a pretty fair job there, especially when it comes to the big superstars like Mammootty.
Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir.
We'll have one last question.
Sir.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. There is no for Roshan sir, only for Ali sir. You are a surprising actor.
Can you start with your name, please?
Amal Ravindran. Amal
One.
Ravindran. Okay, sir. You are, I think, watching out movies, you giving surprise to all. When watching the Fast and Furious series, you just coming and in Thug Life, you also surprise us. The first question is, when you surprising in Malayalam? And another question is...
My dream, I was going to say, I've just finally found I shouldn't say this, but I found a teacher who's I'm waiting to finish my project and start learning
Okay.
the language.
Your favorite.
Wow.
But it's very hard, yeah. Like very, very hard. So baby steps. It could take years, but it's my dream if I could, because I have to qualify for
You're
it.
trying to turn him into surprising star now.
Yeah, surprising stuff.
No. Because I think sometimes we also come from a privileged space where we come and demand it, you know, कि मेरे को काम चाहिए. I want to work here.
जो एक मूवी देखने चले तो वो तक लाइफ का विकिपीडिया है ना, उसमें देखा तो आपका नाम नहीं था.
Hey, but
वो थिएटर में देखा तो आप आ गया, तो सरप्राइज हो गया.
Hey, you've reached Tamil.
मेरे
now.
को भी सरप्राइज हुआ उसमें.
Yeah.
I'll get killed for this.
Sir, one more question too. What's you preferring Malayalam movies? Any you like, as you like? आपका favorite Malayalam movies कौन सा है? तो
अरे बहुत है.
अरे.
तीन बताओ, तीन.
Okay, the last one you liked.
Teen.
You liked.
Brahman Yugam.
Brahmayugam.
It was
See?
beautiful.
Now you're going to ask him who is his favorite, Mammootty or Mohanlal, no? I have banned that question. All right, I think the time's up. Unless anybody has one last question, you have? Okay, very quickly, let's... But please keep it
Better
short.
be for me, huh?
So it's not a question. I wanted to say something. So this is my friend. We were getting ready today. I was like 10 minutes late. So he was super annoyed and he was saying, you know, this is something really, he's a writer. So this is something really important in my life. How can you, we reached here at 10:30, okay? So you were wondering, you were saying, why would you come and sit here and listen to us? So I think this is a room where people are here, like they're aspiring. And if somebody likes this things of a thing, I think that's the answer we can give you, and we're all rooting for that, and that's the assurance we are giving you. So just wanted to say that. I was not planning to talk, but thank you.
On
Thank
a
you.
side note, I
Thank
wish
you.
you could see his face now. He's dug himself into the ground.
He's shy. Thank you so much.
All right, that's about it. Can we have one last question? Are we really pressed on time? I think you can come off.
Theaters for people, because I am a person who's asking the question right now, who was ready to ask this question because of theater, because I have been shaped by theater, but it was in very young age. But I got disconnected from that because I didn't have more opportunities to get into theater. So theaters are very rare now. So, but it's really essential because like we have new cultures happening in our like stranger camps is happening, like a lot of like new kind of cultures is happening. So I really think that theaters has to be one of the very common man's culture which can enhance this mental health everything. So do you have any other any idea to bring theaters to people rather than people has to get to theaters? So do you have anything
Now
in
that you
mind?
have the brand and the credibility to do it, is there something you plan to do? Both of you.
Yeah, both of you.
I mean, there are theatre companies working, especially a lot of companies abroad, who are trying all sorts of things to try and get it across to people. During the lockdown, I was able to stream plays, productions which were put together by the National Theatre in London. So they're live shooting these things, live editing these things, and streaming these plays across the globe while they are happening live. So there are people who are putting a lot of money and their brains into it. But what I also keep thinking is, a few decades ago, at least, this was part of our culture. This was a regular activity. This was something everybody went. In fact, everyone sitting here, I'm sure, has seen a play when they were really young, at least. You know, it must be the last 10 or 15 years that they haven't seen one in. So maybe we don't need all of that technology. We don't need all of that money. We just need to make ourselves available. And for the first half of your question, that wasn't actually a question, that was fact. So thank you for sharing it.
Thank you for sharing that. This is what I do, foot in mouth. I need a script. Oh, yeah. I was going to say small units could really help, you know, storytelling. You should start from storytelling. इसको हमारे यहाँ, we used to call it kissa goi, right? The 4 o'clock afternoons in your childhood, the mamas and the chachas would come and just tell stories, and these stories would go on for sometimes weeks. It was just never ending, you know. And there are, of course, some lovely ones in history also. It's all recorded in different languages. You'll find. And I think that's a great way to start these fringe performances as well. You start with storytelling, then you can actually perform those out. You'll always have an audience. Have your friends together. Record, no record. I don't know. Social media is also a very weird, twisted game. So I'm not going to go there, or the psychology of that. But, I don't know where exactly you draw the line, because I'm thinking Sybil. So you'll get that probably. Okay. Yeah. Thanks.
That brings us to the close of the session. Walking here, we were all just bouncing off ideas as to how the session would go. But I think it all went very in an impromptu direction, thanks to the wonderful audience. All of you have sort of brought this whole discussion alive. Thank you very much. And
All right, so we've come to the end.
thank you, Ali, and thank you, Roshan. Thank you, Manorama. You've all been very wonderful.
Thank you. I want to thank the Manorama team and Mr. Chandy and your entire team for making this happen. Thank
and
you
all
so
of you
much.
for listening. And
Yes.
there are 2 plays happening here again, or more than 2. Meenachilar
Stop
and
it.
Uberoy. Please
Stop
go watch
it.
theatre. Not mine, they're not mine.